have to say, as a 55-year-old woman who lived through Vietnam, when I was in 1973, my mom died, and 2 months later, they started the Watergate hearings. There was a Tara O'Connor, I believe her name was, a young Irish lass who was Junior Miss Trump Atlantic City pageant sexist winner. Well, I cry every time. It first was at the Public. I went to see it at the Public, and I was just devastated by it.
Trump just lost his mind over what Rosie O'Donnell said about his marriage to Melania. His all-caps Twitter meltdown is giving everyone secondhand embarrassment right now. We're gonna show you exactly what Rosie said that hit such a nerve. Hint, it involves the words business arrangement instead of marriage, and why the former president can't handle when someone points out the obvious about his personal life. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Well, folks, the orange turd just had a meltdown that shattered the internet. Trump's latest Twitter tantrum wasn't just another day at the rage office. This was a 5-alarm nuclear explosion of all-caps fury that has everyone grabbing popcorn and settling in for the show.
And she's the prostitute? And who is he? He's the moral arbiter of 20-year-old behavior now, right? So then I said, some facts that I just went on Wiki. I just thought it would never happen.
Same here. So I've been wrong at every turn.
I said to my therapist, I got this new show, Smilf, but I have to go to Boston to start shooting. There was a Tara O'Connor, I believe her name was, a young Irish lass who was Junior Miss Trump Atlantic City pageant sexist winner.
Here,
He was on that little escalator down with the fake crowd going, look, here's my wife who loves me. And she's like, how do I get out of here?
Washed up, Rosie O'Donnell is a sick woman with mental problems. Everyone knows my marriage is tremendous. The best marriage, perfect like my phone calls. That's just a taste of the unhinged word salad Trump served up when Rosie touched his most sensitive nerve. And get this, he posted it at 3:17 a.m. Nothing says, I'm totally not bothered, like screaming into your phone while everyone else is sleeping. This meltdown hits different though. Usually when Donnie Diapers throws a fit, it's about his fragile ego or some perceived political slight. But Rosie managed to crack open something deeper, more raw. When powerful men like Trump build their entire brand on being alpha male winners, any suggestion that their personal life might be a charade cuts straight to the bone. Look at his language choices. He called Rosie desperate for attention, projection much, then immediately listed all the ways his marriage is supposedly perfect. Trump even dragged out his greatest hits collection of insults: low IQ, disgusting, and failure. Words he only deploys when truly rattled. But the kicker was when he wrote, Melania loves me more than anyone has ever been loved.
And he said, just want you to know, I've forgiven her. And this young woman, I'm like, what is he, the pimp? I'm here and I have no Xanax! Mommy's better since Bob Mueller last Friday. And I remember as a child feeling, wow, there's no safety in my house. And look, there's no safety in the world. And all of that came right up when he, first of all, when he announced, I was like, laugh. I have to say, as a 55-year-old woman who lived through Vietnam, when I was in 1973, my mom died, and 2 months later, they started the Watergate hearings.
If Trump gets indicted, it would be really great if Mueller let you serve the papers. I feel like...
Nothing says secure relationship like desperately shouting about it at the internet at 3 a.m. Remember when Hillary Clinton called him Putin's puppet and he immediately blurted, no puppet, no puppet. You're the puppet? That's exactly what's happening here. Trump's playing the I'm not insecure about my marriage, you're insecure about my marriage card. Rosie clearly knows how to push Trump's buttons better than the nuclear football. Their feud goes back to 2006, but this time she skipped past his business failures and spray-tan disasters and went straight for his marriage. And judging by his reaction, comparing Rosie to a rabid animal, yes, he actually wrote that, she hit the bullseye. The most delicious irony? Trump's volcanic overreaction actually proves Rosie's point. If his marriage was truly the rock-solid love story he claims, would a few comments from a comedian he's feuded with for years trigger such a desperate defense? That volcanic eruption wasn't triggered by just any old Rosie insult. It was her precise dissection of what she called the most obvious business arrangement in modern political history. And boy, did she come with receipts.
Donald Trump has been mad at you for a very long time.
Over a decade.
Over a decade.
Yes. The day after the election, do you think it's going to be okay for me to be there? Or what if he wins? She's like, Rosie, you really have to start working on your negative loop in your brain.
It's been really, we've sort of made the joke on the show that he's flip-flopped on everything except you.
It's actually very true.
So for those who don't know, because now obviously it's on Broadway in a giant theater, how small is the public? How many seats was it then?
Let's talk about what Rosie actually said that sent Trump into such a frenzy. She didn't just toss out a random insult. She methodically dismantled the foundation of his marriage by calling it exactly what many have suspected, a contractual relationship rather than a love match. Trump and Melania have the warmth of two strangers waiting for different buses, Rosie quipped before unleashing a barrage of evidence. The most damning proof, those awkward public moments where Melania seems about as comfortable around Trump as a cat in a bathtub. Rosie compiled a greatest hits reel of Melania swatting away Trump's hand, grimacing when he turns his back, and maintaining what body language experts call defensive posturing whenever they're together. There's even that infamous clip where Melania's smile instantly drops to a scowl the moment Trump looks away. A transformation so jarring it makes Jekyll and Hyde look stable. What makes Rosie's attack so brilliant is that it's part of her long-standing commitment to exposing Trump's carefully constructed facade. While others might take jabs at his policies or his hair, Rosie goes straight for the jugular, his authenticity. She's been doing this since she first called him out as a fake billionaire who inherited wealth rather than earned it. Every time she speaks about Trump, she strips away another layer of his manufactured image.
Well, I cry every time.
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
When I at first was at the Public, I went to see it at the Public, and I was just devastated by it. How that were easily accessible since this campaign began, that he is bankrupt 4 times, that he got all his money from his father. I have put in that request by tweet.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to hear, but, you know, nothing really will.
And did it sort of start? It started from The View, yes?
The View.
Yeah.
He is not going to win. Every smart person knows he is not going to win. That night, I was like, listen, you wench.
The business arrangement comment cuts especially deep because it contradicts everything Trump wants us to believe about himself. A man who constantly portrays himself as irresistible to women, who brags about his romantic conquests, can't possibly be in a loveless marriage for show. Right? Rosie's suggestion pierces right through the macho persona he spent decades building. What's fascinating is how Rosie's criticisms have evolved over the years. Her initial attacks focused on his business failures and moral character, but she's graduated to something far more sophisticated, exposing the contradiction between the alpha male image Trump projects and the apparent reality of his personal relationships. Let's be honest, folks, this isn't just some petty celebrity spat we're watching. What we're seeing is the perfect illustration of Trump's paper-thin skin, especially when it comes to women who dare criticize him. The man who wants to lead the free world again can't even handle a comedian pointing out the obvious. This pattern extends way beyond just Rosie. Remember his endless feuds with Megyn Kelly and Hillary Clinton? The guy has a special kind of meltdown reserved for women who challenge him. Nearly 20 years later, Rosie still knows exactly which psychological buttons to push, turning his fragile ego into her personal playground. The real comedy here isn't even in the jokes anymore. It's in watching Trump predictably explode every single time someone questions his carefully constructed image. As long as Donnie Diapers keeps taking the bait and having these public tantrums, comics like Rosie will keep winning without breaking a sweat. All they have to do is state the obvious while the rest of us grab our popcorn.